Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Sam, your favorite loan broker. Guys, today's video is about when you should buy a home and the benefits of it, and for mortgage math, what's the best options you have in order to buy a house, right? Guys, I have a comparison today. It's about renters versus homeowners, right? Now, if you look at my videos, I always do comparisons just to give you an understanding and why, right? Because my channel, I want to convince you guys, whoever's making minimum wage, $5, $10 over minimum wage, and wants to know, is there something out there, an investment, something to change your financial situation, right? Guys, today's video is about the renter, right? Now, let's do a comparison. Now, I know you're on the same internet that I'm on. You're on the same YouTube that I'm on, right? Now, you hear some people saying buying a home, there's repairs, there's headaches. And if you buy a home with the interest rate, it's as if you bought the bank a home and yourself a home, right? Now, let's take that out of the variable for a minute, right? Now, let's look at someone that paid off their home versus a person that's still renting, right? So now let's do a comparison. Let's just say this person is 60 years old or 70 years old, 60 or 70, right? So now let's just say one person is a renter. They didn't believe in buying it. They said, you know what? I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna save my money and maybe I'll do other things, right? Now let's look at the person that did buy a home and did the traditional 30 years of paying off, right? Now, after the 30 years, you no longer have a bank mortgage, guys. Now, what you're left with only is your property tax and homeowner's insurance. Now, depending what state you in, depending what area in the state you in, you don't need insurance, guys. What do I mean by that? If you're by a flood zone, hurricane zone, natural fire, the state, I don't want to say they mandate you, but I'm not certain for every state, guys. But let's just say they say, tell you what, you need 50,000 to 100,000 of homeowners insurance, right? So that's that variable for that state and that area, right? But now let's just look at it as property tax. Property tax is something, to my understanding, only 3 people can avoid. And when I mean avoid, meaning your situation. What do I mean by that? If you're what is it called? I'm going to use a priest or pastor. You're actually exempt from paying taxes, right? Now, let's just say you're exempt or a percentage. Because now, if you're a pastor and you have a home that's $5 million and the property tax is 20 grand a month, it doesn't mean they just wipe that off. So there's variables on that, right? So as long as your property tax is under $10,000, but let's give an example. Your property tax is $12,000. That means you only pay $2,000 from the $12,000, right? That's that variable. So there's 3 individuals that don't pay property tax. There's someone that's a particular state if you're a veteran, retired, or disabled. Then there's if you're retired from working, which is an age 65 or 68. Don't quote me, depending on what state you're in, right? And if you're a priest, a doctor, a counselor, you don't pay property tax, right, guys? So now let's do an evaluation. 2 people, either they're 60 or 70, guys, don't forget, right? One of them said, I'm going to be a renter. I don't want to buy a house. The other one said, I want to buy a house, and their mortgage is done, right? So now let's just say, oh, guys, also, I'm looking down at my notes here, right? It shows that there are 35 million people in the US that own a home but paid off their mortgage. 35 million people in the US. Yes. If you want, Google it yourself and check it out, right? So now, 2 individuals, either they're 60 or they're 70, right? So now, one individual bought a house when they was 30 years go by, they're 60. The renter now said, tell you what, I don't want a house, right? So the renter that is 60 or 70 right now, right? With those comparison, they still have rent. So now that one renter, you're in the race, you're in the competition with either paying $1,500, $2,000, now depending on your situation. If you live alone, if you're with a spouse, if you're with a kid from college still at home, XYZ, right? But at the end of the day, even if we're looking at studios, depending on what state and what county you're in, right? Let's use an example of $1,500 to $2,000, guys. The renter has every month to come up with $1,500 to $2,000. Now, the homeowner that paid their mortgage free and clear, and all they have is property tax. Now, guys, the thing about property tax, depending on your age, your tax bracket situation, meaning if you're a veteran and XYZ. We're not going to get into that, right, guys? But now the person that paid off their home and now they only have property tax to pay, depending on what state you're in. There's certain states that I check. You can go on Zillow, guys. If you want to do this comparison for yourself, go on Zillow, put in a house near you, and just look at that property tax, and that's how you can get a more better, I don't want to say estimate, a more accurate understanding, right? Because mind you guys, you see when I'm on this internet, imagine I'm a weathercast guys, and I say today it's gonna rain all day, and at 12 o'clock there's gonna be hail, right? Now, if you're listening to a weathercast guy that's speaking to the whole US, that's not true. So that's why, guys, I don't want to speak in concrete because I don't know which state or which individual I'm speaking to, right? But now let's just break it down. Let's just say you have a property tax of $3,000. Round that off, that's about, I think, $250 a month, if my math is right, right? So the one renter, which is 60 or 70 years old, they have a rent anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. Then the other person that bought a house and they did not use mortgage math, because guys, in my videos, in my tutorials, there's better ways to use your home equity and to do investments that will benefit you, right? But let's just say, keep it simple. This person didn't do anything. They paid it from the first all the way to the 30 year, right? So now the other one, that's the homeowner now, they only have property tax. Their property tax is $250, guys. Now, the renter, I don't want to say default. I don't know any person that's retired or 60 or 70 that says, I want to rent a 3 or 4 bedroom, right? So by just you living on your own, maybe you have a family member, maybe a spouse, right? Because 2 adults, they sleep on 1 bed. You either have a 1 bedroom. Now, the other person that has a home, yes, they do have homes with 1 bedrooms. They do have homes with 2 bedrooms. But now we're speaking for the national average. Almost every single family home has anywhere from 3 to 4 bedrooms. And what I mean by that, legally, meaning people can live in an attic if you bring it up to code and standards. People can live in a basement if you make it nice, comfortable, and cozy, meaning drywall and heating and air conditioning and ventilation and 2-way exit, right? So now the homeowner now has a home to where if they're by themselves or with a family member, they actually have 3 or 4 rooms extra, right? But now we're not going to look at that, but I just want to give you a huge understanding with owning a home, right? So now the renter now is in a 1 bedroom paying anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. We know this. We're in the same market, guys, meaning we're living together in the same US and we hear the numbers, right? And now the other person's a homeowner. All they have is their property tax, right? So now some of you that are not sold on buying a home, I don't mean this in a bad way, guys. I'm trying to share information with you. Hopefully we all plan to get old, right? You know, diseases or life things happen. So let's just say whoever's watching this, you live till you're, or also guys, I don't know this because I'm still learning, and with statistics we never know, right? Let's just say I'm coming up with it, 5 million people that's 85 years old right now. I'm coming up with it, guys, right? So now, what are you trying to say, Sam? Imagine either you're 30 or you're 40 right now. Even if you're 20 or even if you're 50, this still can work, right? Let's just say you're 30 or you're 40 right now. And I don't know, but let's just say you live till you're 80. If you're a renter, you don't own a home, you're not doing investments, and my channel is about owning a home. That means you're going to be a renter till you're 80. Now, let's look at the homeowner. Let's just say your home is paid off free and clear. You actually won't have a mortgage and won't have rent. Only thing you have to pay is property tax. So now, don't forget inflation. Guys, don't think inflation is only within our living area, era, meaning the age we are. There was always inflation back in 1980. There was always inflation back in 2000, right? The inflation always been around, guys. It's just that sometimes media would blow it up, or depending how economy is doing, guys. So now, imagine you're 80 years old and you have to deal with $1,500 to $2,000 a month. You have to come up with it. So now you can't really vacation. You have to choose rent or medication or gas prices or your prescription, meaning healthcare, right? Now the homeowner now, they only have to come up with $250 in property tax. Why? Because their living expense disappear. There is no rent, there is no mortgage, that's gone. So guys, a lot of you guys that are on the fence, think about that. Imagine you're 70, 80. Guys, there's another video I want to post. My videos already are long. But now there's this video I was watching where it's called I think it says I'm over 60 and cannot retire, guys. I'll see if I can link that link, right? Guys, research it. There's a lady, I think she's 82 and she's the oldest Uber driver. Guys, no one wants to be 82 having to look at a GPS and an app in order to make ends meet, guys. So now you're probably looking at this video and hopefully it's sinking in. Yes, you need to buy a house now because there's different variables that you can make money on it later. Besides that, guys, don't be the person that wants to be the renter, do little investments here and there. Don't be afraid of, oh, housing markets is down. Guys, even if housing markets was down for 3 to 5 years, the housing will always bounce back. The reason why, once a economy levels out, and then once income levels out, it will bring your home value right back into order. If you were supposed to look at any house within 100 years, how many times did it go through, oh, the home value went down, or this is no good, or home need repairs? Once a fixer flipper or the market corrects back or even gets comfortable, you always can refinance or catch up. A home will never just stay in the negative, in the red, guys. A home will always either go down in value and go up for sure, guys. So now, guys, I also have a video I want to add on to this, right? In order to help y'all see a different perspective, guys. But guys, thank you to watch my for watching my videos, and don't forget I'm here to help the individual buy a home, guys. We lend in 50 different states, and I want you to get qualified, meaning you have your documents in order so you can get that 3.5 or that 1% or the 0%, guys. So guys, this video is about renters versus a person that has a paid off home, guys. Don't be the person that you want to be 60, 70, 80 years old and then you're paying rent $1,500 to $2,000, guys. Be the person that owns a home that you only have property tax. Guys, if you want to look at it, imagine, remember I told you, look, I'm looking down my notes, 35 million homeowners have a paid off mortgage. Imagine you're a senior, 80 years old, and you put an ad in a newspaper and say, I have a 2-bedroom for rent for $800, guys. You know that doesn't exist. My sister-in-law, she ended up finding, this was years ago, she found a 2-bedroom rental for $500. It was 2 individuals that was retired. They had the whole house to themselves. They only, you know, for different reasons, they only could live like in the walk-in basement part of it. But the rest of the house, they were not physically able to go upstairs and downstairs. And you know, they had to budget. So my sister-in-law, she rented a 2-bedroom, very nice area. Like it was 5 blocks away from the water, coastlines. And she was shocked when she seen the ad. She was like, wait, a 2-bedroom going for like 800, I think 600 or 800. I don't remember. This is years ago, right? But let's just say it's 600. Those numbers, you can't even, like, if you were supposed to see it, I know you would think it's a scam. But there are old folks that if they just want to rent a room or the 2-bedroom or the 3-bedroom and they just live either in the basement, the attic, or however the house is cut, right? Because why they need to cover that $250, guys. Imagine that. This is what my channel is about. It's what is educating you and watching out for your financial future, your pockets in the future, guys. So there's a video I'm gonna add on, guys, and really listen to it, to what it's saying, guys. All right, take care. Bye-bye.
One of the worst things you can do as a parent is allow yourself to get old with no financial stability. Because now your children have to stop building their future to rescue you from your past. I just read this story that perfectly shows why it's so hard to build financial stability in the community. So this woman quit her 6-figure career to take care of her ailing father full time. And he's passed away and now she can't find a job, while also leaving nothing behind for her. And every day we see younger people going through this because there's a generation that didn't have life insurance, didn't have a savings, didn't invest in anything. This is is one of the most uncomfortable conversations that our community refuses to have. And honestly, in my opinion, this is why a lot of broke people keep having kids, because they know they'll have someone in the future to save them from their mistakes. See, a lot of first generation people within the community that's building, they're not even starting from zero. They started from debt, eviction trauma, bad credit, having to help their mom with the rent, giving their cousin somewhere to stay. And from everybody needing something at the same time. That's not the starting line. That's 100-foot hole. And this is why I always say, when you're the first person in your family that's trying to build wealth, you have to be a savage at a level that most people simply won't understand. Because while you got other people out here inheriting assets, you inherited nothing but emergencies. You inherited responsibility before any opportunity. Like, imagine two runners in a race. One starts at the starting line, while the other starts chained to 5 people 50 yards back. See, people will see that second person losing and so far behind, they will just assume that they're lazy, without knowing how much weight that person is carrying. And as a community, we always say we got to work twice as hard. We got to work 5 times as hard. Without saying that a reason for that a lot of the times is because of situations like this. As a parent, if you don't get life insurance, build the savings, invest in the stock market, own a home, not only are you setting yourself up for failure, you setting your kids up for failure.